The most revealing tweets are the ones which are swiftly deleted. If you can't stand by a thought that you've shared with the world, it normally means you have unwittingly revealed what you actually think and are suddenly fearful of the repercussions. Which brings me to Tobias Ellwood MP and his now deleted tweets endorsing Rishi Sunak as our next Prime Minister. However, Ellwood, in doing so, made quite a bold statement and one which is revealing. Take a look. He tweeted, "The free market experiment is over." He says it's been a low point in our party's great history. The reset begins. That's right, the reset begins. He goes on, time for a centrist, stable, fiscally responsible government offering credible domestic and international leadership. So, there you have it. The mask has slipped along with the halo. What does the reset begins actually mean? Welcome to hell. Now, Tobias Ellwood is a gentleman, and he's been on this show many times, and I hope he will be again in the future. A highly regarded MP among his constituents in Bournemouth East, and he's been heroic as chairman of the House of Commons Defence Select Committee, calling out the deep and chilling threats both China and Russia pose to British and Western interests. True leadership and wisdom from the big man. But with this tweet, he has revealed what has become all too obvious, which is that the party of Thatcher and her incredible economic revolution, which saw the liberation of working class people, allowing them to buy their own council houses and flats, start businesses and think big for themselves and their families, is no more. That's right, Thatcher is nothing more now than a distant memory. Her legacy within the Tory party, gone. It's been replaced by a centre-ground, almost Blairite political and economic philosophy. New Labour Light, which condemns us to years more of tax and spend, big state, big debt, low productivity and anaemic growth. And the cruel irony is that the party which delivered Brexit is now so woefully poor at delivering the opportunities it offers. And if you want evidence that the Tory party, which has been heading leftwards economically and politically since David Cameron, is falling out of love with capitalism, look no further than the outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss's bold attempts to reinvent Britain as a low-tax, high-growth economy and a global hub for investment. Yes, that mini-budget went down horrifically in the international financial markets, but it was Tory backbenchers too who have been decoupled from Margaret Thatcher's vision of economic freedom. And that ultimately did for Liz Truss. Many MPs said they would not vote for the top-rate tax cut, which was designed to attract wealthy people to live here, invest here and pay their taxes here. In fact, of late, Tory backbenchers have clamoured for an increase in corporation tax on businesses just as we enter a downturn. Doesn't sound very conservative to me. And an inflation-busting pay rise for those on benefits, a pay rise double that of those in work. I thought it was Tory policy that working should always pay. Now, don't get me wrong, the pandemic response would have been worse under Labour, but there was nothing conservative about COVID measures over the last 2.5 years. Vaccine and mask tyranny. Whatever happened to the power of the individual? And what about the Beijing-inspired policy of lockdowns? Destroying our great cities, controlling people's movements, closing once viable businesses, and paying perfectly healthy people to stay at home. That's not conservatism, that's communism, all on the watch of a Tory Prime Minister. The brilliant entrepreneur and political commentator Ben Habib got it just right in a tweet earlier this week. He said people have been very quick to ditch Liz Truss, but her policies were spot on. They were the policies she promised to deliver, and she was true to her word. The market reaction should have been calmed by the Bank of England, but it hung her out to dry, as did the Tory wets. Yes, the mini-budget was disastrously executed, but the vision was right, and with Liz Truss's departure, any hope for change is now gone. And the current soap opera around who next leads the Tory party is academic. A bigger ideological question facing Tory MPs and Conservative grassroots supporters is not Rishi or Boris, it's left or right. Whoever becomes the next Prime Minister has one last opportunity to lead a Conservative Party which is actually conservative. If they vacate that territory which has made them the most successful democratic force in European history, based upon the principles of economic and personal freedom, then they will be gone forever. With individuals like my friends Nigel Farage, Richard Tice and Neil Hamilton happily filling the gap. The Conservatives, the so-called natural party of government, risk becoming the natural party of opposition.